Hey, what is up people? Vicky from the Elementon back with another video, and this time it's a tech review. Here I have with me the Oppo A7, a mid-range smartphone that I call the unbalanced phone. Let me tell you why, but before that let's take a look at the build. This is one beautiful metal phone that sandwiches a silicone type glossy layer at the back with a cool glazed blue pattern and a golden border around the camera. This is a bit heavy because of the metal but looks massive on hand. Over the front is a 6.2-inch HD display that should probably be an LCD. Lock button, volume rockers, and a SIM tray on the side, a headphone jack, Type B USB port, and a mono speaker grill at the bottom, nothing on top, a dual camera, and an oval fingerprint sensor at the back. Inside this phone is a Snapdragon 450 processor. I know what you're thinking, let me get to that in a moment. Let's move on. 4GB of RAM, 64GB of internal storage, 4230 mAh battery, and the entire package ships for about 16,000 bucks. I know you're right away going to ignore this phone because of those low Snapdragon number, but you should probably watch this video till the last to know my verdict. First on the list is the performance. 450 is the baseline model of Snapdragon processors, and these are made to give importance to battery and not performance. So devices with Snapdragon 450 can actually yield you better battery life. But what about the performance? I wouldn't use the term sluggish, but every new phone would perform good out of the box. But maintaining the performance over a long time is still questionable. But for now, it's good. And as I mentioned in my video of how to choose your best smartphone, which is ping, don't go blindly by numbers. For instance, this Snapdragon 450 processor is actually better than the Snapdragon 616 or even the Snapdragon 808. Fingerprint is snappy, no problems with that, and the registration process is super quick. Next up is the software, and I don't have a lot to say about this. A7 runs on Oreo with ColorOS on top. You guys already know this, I'm a stock Android person, and anything that's not stock Android doesn't excite me as much. And this is okay, let me not get into the conclusions. Everybody has a different point of view. Next up on the list is camera. For a moment, leave out all the numbers. It doesn't matter. Let's take a look at the picture. What do you notice? I'm pretty glad the colors are saturated a bit. I prefer it that way rather than washed out once. But if you zoom in, it's smudgy. There is literally no details in the picture. It's like a camera with a mandatory beauty mode on. Portrait is nice thanks to the dual camera. Edge detection is good on people, not perfect, but good. Finally, we have the battery. One of the selling point of this phone is a massive 4320 mAh battery with Snapdragon 450 processor. This would naturally give you the best battery life. I charged this thing at once and it stood for a day and a half under moderate use, which is very good for a phone in this price range. So if you are thinking about buying a phone just for good battery, you got this. Alright, did you notice at the beginning of this video when I said the word unbalanced phone? Yes, this phone is indeed unbalanced. Look, you're paying 16,000 bucks for a phone and you don't get a lot for what you pay. To put in perspective, the Moto One Power is in all the ways better than the A7 and it costs only 15,000 bucks. The Note 6 Pro is almost the same in specs except that it has Snapdragon 636 and it costs only 14,000 bucks. So what Oppo could have done? They could have reduced the battery a bit and they could have changed the processor from 400 to 600 series. They could have added a Type-C port because that's becoming a standard for phones nowadays. And finally, they could have tossed a full HD display instead of 720 pixels. This phone would have been better. Obviously, this is my friend's phone and one of the primary requirements for him was to have a great battery life. This phone indeed gives you great battery life, so this is best for him. And by the way, do you know why he was so obsessed with getting great battery life? Come on, guess. Yes, you're right. He was using an iPhone before this one. So that's basically it from this side of the lens. Hope you got something out of this video, and if you did, then be sure to drop a like to this video. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of my contents. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon.